I'm not sure if this one's about abundance or lack. it's, it's a little confusing. They're using the example of like buying things, and like sometimes we buy things because we think, of course, no, I need this, and this is just a staple, or just of course, or whatever. And like I tend to like to buy, if it's something I need, I like to buy the correct thing the first time, right? Like I don't think anybody does. I mean, but I know people do it, so I'm not sure. Like I don't want to buy the cheaper version, because I've experienced that. You buy the cheaper version, it ends up breaking or it's crap, and then you have to buy another one, and or you just have to then pay for the original. So then you ultimately are always paying more than necessary instead of just buying the correct one the first time around. Yet I've also found that I'll buy things with that mentality, but I don't really need them, even though I think I do, right? They're giving like a silly example, like the first time I rented, which was recently, was in the last 5 years, I had this beautiful place I rented, and I needed to buy all new because the home that I had sold previously, they loved how I designed and furnished the place, so they wanted to buy it all. And so I said fine and sold them everything. So I literally had nothing. I had to rebuy the whole place, which was fine. I was then able to, but that was what was kind of dumb. I bought designing towards the place I rented. But that's how I've always been. Every home I've ever had, I've always furnished it according to the home itself. Just because I like it that way. But anyway, in any case, I needed a bedroom set. I needed a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, it was like, yes, I needed a dining set, but I didn't need the amount of chairs and like this and that. It was, the reason I did that was because that was what the space required. The space required a bigger table and a larger number of chairs for it to fit and feel presence in the room. And so this was the case with everything I bought there. And, now moving twice since, that stuff I bought was beautiful. I loved it, but a lot of it did get, banged up in the moves or whatnot. And in other words, it wouldn't be as worn and torn as it is had it just lived in the same space and cared for just in the one space and didn't have to keep getting, trucked along to the other spaces. And additionally, the other spaces didn't call for that size, even that quality. And so I've had to give a lot of it away because it hasn't even fit in the following places. So I've had to give away a ton of stuff each time I've moved. I mean, a tremendous amount of stuff. That does make me upset and sick, because then it's like, well, I have to replace it because I still need it, but it doesn't fit in the space. And so to not get any money back from something and then have to go buy something else, the whole thing makes me sick. Even to let me give a simple, silly example. One of the things that I ended up keeping, but there was a beautiful rug that I paid a fortune for. Quality rugs really are very costly. And it wasn't going to fit in the space. And so if I sold it, it's hard to sell stuff, even if it's quality stuff that's from a person pre-owned. And who has the time? Because I never have one thing to sell. I always have 4 million things to sell. And it's not what I do for a living, so it's like I just don't have time for all that. And so if I gave it away for free, but then I have to go buy, even if I sold it, what I would sell it for and what I'd make wouldn't pay for the same quality in the correct size, even though it's smaller. It wouldn't even get close to it. So I'd have to sell it to buy crap. No, thank you. And so for the rug, it was like, well, it was worth spending the money, even though very costly, to cut it and bind it, than to buy the correct size for the new space for that same quality rug. It would have cost me 10 times as much. I could buy a cheap, shitty rug for what it cost for the cut and binding, but I'd notice the difference walking on it. And then what was I going to do with the rug? Do you see what I'm saying? It's such silly problems, but these are problems. In other words, I'd love to spend my time on more important things than worrying about this kind of thing. But this is what they were talking about. Okay, so they're getting me back to this point where in each of the moves, it has upset me. I won't tell you the numbers because, some people will be like, that's nothing. Other people will be like, are you kidding? That's more than my entire year's salary. It's insane, some of the... And so it has been disheartening to me because I'm not one to waste. I don't like all of that. I don't like have to keep buying. I don't like to have to throw money away. I don't like any of that. It very much upsets me. And so it has been a very good lesson for me, right? Like, oh, you didn't need all that in that first space, and you didn't need to buy that amount, that quality, that whatever. You just, because I really like my spaces where I live. I'm very much a homebody. And so I very much want my space, my home, my environment that I'm in the majority of the time to be beautiful and to be peaceful and to be orderly and to be calm because I'm there a lot. And that's the type of person I am. And so, somebody else can live in complete chaos and disaster and not even notice it and totally be mentally calm and whatever. I'm not that way. I like everything organized and in place so I can settle. Like, it's not something that I'm aware of in the back of my mind. And so that was part of the problem was I don't even think like that. I don't think to this is a rental. Buy what you love, whether it fits in the space or not. Meaning if you wouldn't buy 8 dining tables or chairs or 10 dining chairs and you don't plan on living like that, don't buy them, right? If it's going to be a small little 4-chair or 2-chair, but that's how you're going to live moving forward, it might look ridiculous in that rental space, but since you haven't decided on where you're landing, who the hell cares? But because every day that would bother me, right? Like seeing that ridiculous 2 tabletop in a space that requires a 10-person tabletop would bother me. It really would. It really actually would. It would affect my mental health on a daily basis, which would then affect my emotional health, which would then affect my physical health. Do you see how this ripples down? Yet it was a valuable lesson of suck it up, buttercup, right? Like learning to wait, learning to deal, learning to, so there is that balance and that fine line. I still don't feel like I'm getting the message out very well because it was something else about they gave this example of like you need to think opposite, like something like if you had $10 left in your bank account, would you wish you kept all the money it costs for those 4 extra chairs in your bank account? Like, what would bring you more peace of mind? Maybe that's a good example. That's a good way to say it, right? Like, would it bring me more peace of mind knowing that the money is there protecting me safe in the bank account and growing, or that I'm visually able to see the space filled? That's a better example. And so sometimes we have to understand that and think of it like that, right? Depending on where we are in any given time frame in our journey, right? Because there's always the ebb and flow, up and down. And if you're in a down, do you really want to buy those 4 extra, 6 extra, 8 extra chairs? Or would you rather have the cost of those in your bank account? Do you see what I'm saying? And so because I'm telling you it's also a mental thing for me, well, what is going to bring you more mental ease? So when you go to buy these things, when you go to have these actions, we think that because that's what we're thinking. We're thinking in a world of abundance. And it's almost saying, which I want you to do always, but I'm telling you the way they're showing me, it's almost saying the opposite. Like, think of it in a world of lack. If you were in a space of lack, you were in the downturn, would you be glad you bought those extra chairs? Maybe that's showing me you want the immediate calm, peace, and ease, the instant, but it's not looking at the long term, the realistic, the reality of the current scenario. I think that's more of what they're showing. And so it's having that discernment and understanding of where you are and deciding then, do you need this instant now? Is it really going to give you that mental peace and ease that you think it will on the daily? But if you're worried about finances on the back end daily, what's going to be more important? What's more valuable? Right? So sometimes, I don't know that I'm verbalizing this the best way, but I hope you can hear it in this example. Because sometimes it is like looking at it through the lens of lack may help you live in more abundance. Oh, this was choppy. I heard it all and I understood it all, but I'm verbalizing it poorly. I hope you got it clearly. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.